What is a mahram? In these verses we find that there's 10 types. 1. The fathers, your father and mother, and upwards. Anyone know what upwards means? Father and mother, and upwards means the grandparents, the great-grandparents, the great-great-grandparents. Number 2, your sons and daughters, and downwards, meaning your sons and daughters, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren, all the way down. Number 3, your brothers and sisters, whether they are half from the father or the mother or from both. Number 4, the mahram is your nephew or your niece, and downwards, meaning if your nephews and nieces got married and they had children, their children are also your mahram, and so on. Number 5, your uncles and aunts, and your uncles and aunts, and upwards, meaning your father and mother's brothers and sisters, and also your father and mother's uncles and aunts, and your grandparents' uncles and aunts. So your uncles and aunts, your great uncles and aunts, your great great uncles and aunts, all of them are mahram as well. Number 6, your father-in-law and your mother-in-law, and upwards, meaning the great-grandfather, the grandfather-in-law, and the grandmother-in-law, and the great-grandfather-in-law, great-grandmother-in-law. Number 7, your son-in-law and your daughter-in-law, and downwards. Your son-in-law and your daughter-in-law, obviously their children become your grandchildren. Number 8, your father's wife and your mother's husband, meaning your stepfather and your stepmother, and upwards, meaning their fathers and their mothers, and so on. And number 9, your husband's sons and your wife's daughters, meaning your stepson and your stepdaughter on both sides. And number 10, a lot of people don't know this one, your milk brother and your milk sister. They're the ones who have breastfed from your mother, or you breastfed from their mother when you were an infant, before you started eating solid food. When you're still breastfeeding, a baby can suckle from another mother. That mother who feeds that baby from her milk, the correct opinion is at least 4 stomachfuls. Particular baby that has suckled from another woman, or 2 other women, or 3 other women, doesn't matter how many, 4 stomachfuls each, that baby and you becomes your brother or your sister. If let's give an example. Your mother had you as a baby and breastfed another baby, 4 stomachfuls. That other baby becomes your brother or sister. And all your brothers and sisters become that baby's brother and sister. The other way around is true. If you got breastfed from that baby's mother, you become the brother or sister of their brothers and sisters. If you both got breastfed from each other's mothers, 4 stomachfuls, then you all become brothers and sisters, and everybody connected to them becomes your family, just like your own. They're all mahrams. Do you understand that part? And I wish, inshallah, one day some of you who go to university or do a PhD or do some kind of research in science and genetics, there is actually now a research that started about the mother's breast milk. It does still carry genetic material from the mother in the very, very early stages of when the milk starts to be produced, and the baby starts to actually receive some of the new genetics. It receives genetic material which alters it slightly. And this is new research that inshallah is developing. You can look it up. And Rasul ﷺ said this 1,400 years ago, that they become your mahrams, your brothers and sisters, by being breastfed. The husband's sons, meaning your stepsons and your stepdaughters. The stepdaughter can take off her hijab in front of her stepfather. You know that, right? And vice versa, also the girl. If